It is Saturday night. It is Saturday night. Saturday. It is Saturday night. And I'm home alone. So, what should I do? And what better to do than just date the perfect feline? I'm so looking forward to this. So, I'm gonna play Perfect Date, as you can see here. I have no real idea what exactly the game is. I mean, I know it's kind of a visual novel dating sim about cats, which is perfect for me. So, yeah, let's dive right in, I guess. All-time progress, 0%, of course. Okay. There it is. Okay. I think that's exactly me. Yes. Let's see. This game supports an autosave feature. I'm an angel and I accept. Okay. I'm not sure how long we've been sailing, but it feels like forever. I'm not feeling too well now, so it's a huge relief to hear the deck lad shout. Island approach, make yourself ready. Okay. I'm finally here. When I applied last month, I was just another broke student living off baked beans and didn't really think I had a chance of being accepted to be part of the prestigious Cat Island research team. Dreams coming true. Yet here it is, the little black dot in the distance, growing bigger by the second, is the infamous Cat Island, the place I will call home for the next few months. Oh, I wish I could really go to an island for a few months. My heart momentarily skips a beat. What if there's been a mistake? What if they accepted someone else's application and accidentally sent the offer to me? I rummage about in my bag until I find the papers. DPRI, DP Corporation. Dear Burgersim, we are pleased to be able to offer you the position of Research Assistant to Professor Purrfect at our research facility on Cat Island. The position will be for an initial period of 8 weeks. Your contract will be sent separately. We look forward to working with you. Yours sincerely, Professor Purrfect, PhD, BSc, Hans... Okay. No, mistake. That's my name, right there in the top left-hand corner. Burgersim. Totally my name. And there's his name at the bottom, the genius behind this whole operation. Who? Professor Purrfect. Science genius and my new boss. Okay. I look up from my papers to see dry land rapidly approaching before us. It seems to be surrounded by a huge barrier of impenetrable black rocks. As we get closer, we're not slowing down, and I begin to worry that we're going to crash into them. Then, at the very last moment, we take a sharp turn to the left, and suddenly we're sailing smoothly towards a jetty through an opening in the rocks. I'm a perfect reader. I blow out the breath that I've been holding and break into a smile. Nicely done, Skipper! The ferryman comes out from behind the steering wheel, ignoring my attempts at camaraderie, and shouts rather brusquely. Take all your belongings, we won't be back... Take all your belongings, we won't be back for days, so don't leave nothing you'll need. Thank you! I smile weakly at the ferryman and his son and pick up my bags, ready to disembark. We glide seamlessly up the wooden jetty, and the son leaps ashore to tie us off. He's greeted by a bulky man in a uniform, who I take to be a security officer of some kind. Joe. Sir, caught your mouse. And then he laughs loudly as though he said the funniest thing he's ever heard. It's very disconcerting. The security guard remains surly and turns his attention to me. Let's be having you then. He holds out. I wanna be had. He holds out his large hand, which I assume is an offer to help me off the boat, but as I reach out to take it, he snatches it away, throwing me off balance so that I almost fall over the side. What a great start. That's why I like cats. ID card. Oh, I see, of course. I reach into my back pocket and hand over the laminated card I was given on the mainland. Cat Island security. Uh-huh. Will I find true love? He barely looks at it before striding off, grunting over his shoulder. This way. I follow him down a dirt track path and get my first proper view of the island. It's beautiful, lush and green. I'm already under its spell. After no more than a couple of minutes trekking, we're in base camp, which consists of an assortment of tents and huts. Among them are two more solid-looking structures, one larger and one smaller. I presume these are the labs. The whole camp is moderate but functional. It reminds me of an army outpost. I'm struck by the lack of people. In fact, there's no one around apart from an older woman sitting outside peeling a pile of potatoes. I smile and give her a little nod, but she just stares back at me. I try not to get paranoid. Here. He stopped at the largest of the tents, indicating that I should get inside. I feel rude just walking in, so I make my presence known first. Hello? A firm but friendly voice calls out. Come. I walk in, and there he is, hunched over some documents, the great Professor Purrfect. Sir, it's an honor to meet you. Yes, you must be Burgersim. Come on in, my dear. Glad to have you on board. Good journey? Well, long. Yes, indeed. We're rather tucked away here. Let me offer you some refreshment. Water, coffee, something strong, or perhaps whiskey. Just some water if you have some. Now, that's something we have an abundance of. There are plenty of safe natural springs on the island, but we have the bottled kind too. I'm relieved as he passes me a bottle. I'm not too keen to start drinking from natural water sources until I've personally checked that they're not used as cat urinals. It will take you a while to find your way around and discover how it all works. So for today, I thought I would just get you kitted out. And maybe introduce you to some of the locals. The cats, that is. I believe you've already met most of the human locals. Oh, I've only met the ferryman and the security guard who brought me here. Yes, that's about it. And the lady outside? Ah, Miss Marigold. Her and her husband are the caretakers. Wonderful couple, the Marigolds. You'll meet them before too long. We're a tidy little family here, Burgersim, and I'm sure you'll fit in nicely. Thank you, sir. I hope so. Okay, so first things first, this is your basic kit. He begins going through a pile of things on his desk, explaining each of them in turn. This is your backpack. You can put everything in it, or you don't say. Sorry. We will be going on plenty of field trips, so it will be very useful. As will your own water bottle. Some disinfectant hand spray. Ah, these are heavy-duty reinforced gloves, which are essential when tagging cats out in the wild. Huh. Don't want any scratches from the felines we don't know now, do we? I suppose not. I shove each item into my new backpack as he gives them to me. Likewise, these goggles are to be brought along on all field trips. This lot here, he indicates to a small pile of what looks like laundry, is basic uniform, lab coats, masks, stethoscope, etc. Portable first aid kit, camping knife with all tool attachments. Finally, and without doubt, most importantly, this. He holds up something that looks a lot like a mobile phone, except it clearly isn't one. This is your catalog. Catalog? Yes, the name comes from its earliest version. It was initially designed to record and store data on the cats, scan them and log their details. But as you see, we've come a long way since then. Now you can use it to communicate with the rest of our team. I've added everyone's contact details for you. Listen to music, take photos. There's even a pen that comes with it to insert microchips into the back of the cat's necks. so that we can keep track of them. It is a very valuable piece of equipment, Burgersim, and I need you to protect it above all else. Do you understand? He's looking me directly in the eye and clearly expects a response. Yes, sir, of course. I will look after it. Good. You'll get to know all the functions as you go along, but for now, I suggest we take a stroll out and see if we can't find a few friends to introduce you to so that you can try it out. He hands me the gadget. I feel a bit nervous taking charge of it, but also really keen to have a go. We head down to the beach, the professor explaining things as we go. The mixture of terrain on Cat Island is quite unique. Even in such a relatively small area, you'll find forests, mountains, jungle, beaches, woodland, all of these different geological and ecological zones in one place. It really is most remarkable. It certainly is. Even the lack of wildlife in itself, quite remarkable. What do you mean, Professor? Well, put simply, there is a type of force field that surrounds the island, disallowing anything to enter. You mean literally anything? Absolutely, no birds, fish, or creatures of any kind can penetrate it. Forgive my lack of intelligence on this subject, but we're here? The professor lets out a disconcertingly loud laugh. Ah, I see what you mean. Well, there is of course one small break in this invisible wall, and that is where we built the jetty. But let's not get too bogged down in all this right now. What you do need to know is that basically the island is shaped like a peanut. He has picked up a nearby stick and draws a simple map on in the sand. This is our end of the island. It's very well known to us now. We've been researching here for many years. The other end is not so familiar to us. We have encountered difficulties that have hindered our progress in the region. What type of difficulties, Professor? Well, we're not as sure as we'd like to be, but what I can tell you is that the environment has an adverse effect upon humans, inducing nausea at the very least. And at the worst, fainting, migraines, possible nerve damage. Gosh, that is serious. As I say, it's best to keep away, but let's not go into all that now, my dear. You've had a long day for now. Let's just say that we refer to the far end of the island as the danger zone, with good reason. I must ask you not to put yourself at risk by venturing beyond this mountain range here. He refers to the map once more, drawing a line just past the center and an X through the end section. There are wild, aggressive cats out there. I wouldn't want you getting too close to them. Unlike our lovely fellows closer to home. He has led me to a spot where a few cats are lounging about. What do you say we try out your catalog now, Burgersim? He stoops down and picks up one of the animals, a disgruntled-looking cat who was sleeping under the shade of a palm tree. The cat lets out a displeased meow, but doesn't struggle. Its large body, billowing with long orange fur, just sort of hangs in the professor's arms in lazy resignation. Would you like to have a go at scanning this delightful chap? I find the on switch and somewhat timidly activated. The gadget immediately comes to artificial life, emitting a boop 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 sound with a red pulsating light. I select the app labeled CAT Scan and it loads instantly. There is no delay on this thing. The professor holds the cat towards me with arms outstretched. I'm sure he said the scanning chip is implanted into the back of the neck somewhere. Yes, but it's difficult to find this one's neck amidst a thick cloud of fur. Sure. I blow to make a parting and press the catalog onto his skin. It's a bit like scanning groceries in the supermarket where I used to work. That should do it. And he plops the Marmalade Tom back into the shade. Sure enough, upon withdrawal, I find the cat has been successfully scanned. Meow. Floofy butt. Really? 10 years, 4 months is a red tabby. Persian. Red tabby Persian. Red eyes. Okay. Amazing. I mean, I guess. Clever, clever, isn't it? A large part of your job here will be to tag and scan the cats, such as Mr. Floofybutt here. But it looks like you'll have no problems at all in that area. Excellent work, BurgerSim. Thank you, sir. I can't wait to get started. Well, why don't you get a bit more practice with the catalog and scan the rest of them while we're here. These 5 spend a lot of time together. They're like a little family, aren't you? Oh, yes you are. The professor seems to be a genuine cat lover like me. I think we're going to get on great. Okay, here goes. No help this time. The professor steps back. The first cat I approach is very friendly with beautiful calico markings. It comes towards me already purring. Trixie. Female, 3 years, 8 months. Calico American short hair. And green eyes. Aww. Next is an elegant, sleek, hairless cat sitting gracefully in the sun. That's not good for a hairless cat. She doesn't pay me much attention and allows me to scan her with minimal fuss. Really? Snooty booty? Who gives them those names? Sphinx, yeah. Blue eyes, okay. The 4th cat I approach is a noisy one. Aww. McMurphy! I like McMurphy. And finally the one I deliberately put off it until last. He's been skulking around the edges of the activity, eyeing me suspiciously as though he could pounce at any moment. I laugh at myself, already projecting personalities onto these animals. How nice of you. White British Longhair. Kibbles. Okay. All done. I hope you enjoyed meeting some of the locals. The professor lets out a little laugh. I have a feeling you'll get to know them quite well in time. That's probably enough for your first day, don't you think? It's quite a lot to take in. I am suddenly exhausted and grateful to be heading back to camp. Oh. It's quite late by the time I've unpacked and settled myself, but I want to write my journal entry before I sleep. I'm surprised at how chilly it is. I have pulled my sleeping bag right up to my chin, but I still feel goose pimples bloom over my arms. Shivering, I rub them to warm myself up. Oh, I love the cold. The cold is when you can pack yourself up in a thick blanket and just be cozy and It makes me smile to think that this inherent reaction to the cold is what will be keeping my new feline friends warm tonight. Fun cat facts! My eyelids close, thinking of cats and the island and the professor. The world around me drifts away as I float up into a dream. What the fuck? What? What is this? I'm not sure how long I've been asleep, but awake with a violent jolt that leaves me sitting bolt upright. It's too dark to see anything, but I hear a rustling, and then a strange electronic noise, one that in my sleepy confusion I can't place right away. The catalog! Acting on instinct, I scramble to my feet and follow the noise out of the tent. I look around me and my fear is confirmed when I catch sight of a pulsing red light getting fainter in the direction of a forest. I snap into action, running as fast as I can, barefoot, dressed in my pajamas, running at full speed into the forest in the dark of night. I must be crazy. The words of Professor Pauper are ringing in my ears. I need you to protect it above all else. All else. All else. All else. My legs are trembling beneath me. I stop feeling my heartbeat heavy throughout my body. I wheeze in and out, my breath billowing in front of me in white puffs. I shouldn't feel like this. Why am I so dizzy? I try to get my bearings and I realize I've blundered perilously close to the danger zone! I can just make out the shapes of some large animals in front of me before my eyes close and drop to my knees. Ah, no! I don't want to get killed by cats! What did I do wrong? I open my eyes. The calico cat I scanned yesterday is sitting in front of me. She drops the catalog at my feet. I pass out. Oh. Hello, can you hear me? Are you okay? What is it? Don't be ridiculous, Kibbles. It's a human. Oh yeah, yuck. I can smell it now. Smells like a human. Oh, do be quiet. Are they alive? Of course it's alive. It's breathing, you imbecile. Why isn't it moving? Ah! I clicked one away. Yes, stand back. Move out of my way. Let me have a proper look. I begin to come to. The Sphinx cat is standing over me as I open my eyes. We stare at each other for a moment while I try to take in what's happening. Is this one defective? Oh, I feel sick. I'm gonna puke. The cats watch me intently. Am I going insane? Ouch! My head! What is it chattering about? They're scared and confused. Let me talk to them. Human? Are you alright? You! I remember. You took my catalog. Oh, but I gave it back to you. It's back in your pocket now. I try to reach into my pocket and realize my hands are scratched to shreds. Ow, 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 ow. What's wrong with my hands? I try to stand. Oh, my feet! What happened to me? Yeah, I guess that's from all the climbing. I told you it wasn't ready for that. What's that? Ready for what? Its anatomical structure is far too delicate. I try to slow it down. Yeah, Flu, if you try restraining a human who's that determined. It was like a margay. Its anatomical structure didn't seem that delicate to me. It was like, what? Doing what? You made your own way back to the beach. Okay, but that doesn't explain. I show my bleeding hands. You crawled, Kara. Kara? Who's Kara? That's not my name. It's a term of endearment. It's an Irish thing. It's inappropriate. Wait, I crawled? You sure did! I wish I could do an Irish accent now. Like a cat. Yup. All the way from the mountains. Like a bleeding mountain lion. Impressive. But why? Because you got the sickness. Shh. Maybe you should sit down, human. We need to have a talk. Possibly a long talk. Talk? Yes, that's right. Since when can cats talk? Oh, for goodness sake, since the dawn of time. How else do you think we communicate? Stop splitting whiskers, Major. You know full well that what the human is saying. I think the revelation here, Kara, is that you can understand us. Yes, that too. Will someone please explain what the hell is going on here? Well, we don't fully understand everything ourselves. At least, not all the details of how this works. I think being stood in a forest, surrounded by a bunch of talking cats, is about as much detail as anybody would want. I agree, and more to the point, we were rather hoping you would be able to help us. You are the scientist after all. What we do know is that the clock has started ticking for you. What do you mean? Well, there's no easy way to say this to you, Kara. You'll be catified. I'll be what? Whether you help or not, you don't have a lot of time before... If I may... It would seem, and we are basing this on our experiences to date, that when a human manages to find themselves in what I believe you call the danger zone, they are vulnerable in ways that they previously were not. That is to say, you're screwed. You're not helping. Don't make me... Wow, mountain lion. There'll be no violence of any kind. Forgive me for being a bit panicked here. The vulnerability to which Snooty Booty was referring is, simply put, if you are bitten or scratched by an elder cat within the danger zone, you will begin a process of change that ultimately will result in a full feline transition. Catify. So, basically you're telling me I'm a werecat. I look down and amongst the scratches on my right hand are two distinct puncture marks. the reality of my situation descends on me like cold mist. Basically, yes. My head is spinning. This is too much for me to take in. Take a breath now, Kara. You're not looking so good. What? Have I started to change? I feel my head for ears, fur. Everything seems to be normal. No, I just meant you're looking a bit shaky. Understandably so. I take a few deep, steady breaths and calm myself enough to say, okay, so... Why? How? What? Give me some data. What have you got so far? Look, we'll answer anything that we can, but the truth is, we have more questions than answers ourselves. So, you need my help. What exactly would that entail? Well, finding our friends would be a start. The cats on this island, they're going missing. We don't know what's happening to them, but the body count is rising and we've hit a wall. A wall of ignorance, maybe, really. How many times do I have to tell you? The Muellers are to blame. Muellers? Now, Floofy-Butt, there is no need for name-calling. I am so bad with voices. I'm still trying, though. Speaking of name-calling, I'll remind you to call me Major, madam. Look, they can't help the way they are. It's lack of breeding, you know. Overbreeding, if you ask me. Again, Muellers. They're the elder cats, the island originals. They can't speak the way we can, hence the derogatory term Muellers. And how are they to blame exactly? Well, if I knew that, there would have been no need for this elaborate kidnapping. It's hardly proving to be a roaring success after all. Look, Kara, all we really know is that we are no longer safe on this island. The elders who live within the danger zone are hostile towards us. Not sure why, it's just always been that way. And now, because cats are being taken, nowhere else is safe either. You expect the occasional mishap. We live in an undomesticated world here after all. But lately, cats have been disappearing almost every day. Even the last human we catified went missing. I'm sorry, what? Let's not open old wounds, Skibbles. Yes, onwards and upwards. Well, first things first, this swear-cat thing. Catification. Transition. Whatever. How does it work? Time passes when you transform into a cat. Okay. Yeah. It's a gradual process. It's different for everyone, but you won't just turn overnight. The clock is ticking, however. The first side effect of the transition is being able to understand us. Well, some of us. Not the elders, obviously. Not all the domestics either. Then you have the whole heightened senses thing, the increased agility, the crazy body hair stuff. Let's not worry the human with all the details just yet. I assume there's an antidote? I'm afraid you're going to be disappointed in that assumption. Hang on, you said there was someone else who you'd put in this position? Well, let's hope you're a better bet than they were. Unfortunately, they weren't able to discover an antidote or get our friends back. I know where their notes are, though. Really? Trade. Huh? You help us and I'll give you the progress reports. So what do you say, Kara? Will you help us? Well, of course. Yeah, afraid not. Okay, fine. So where do I start? Is there anything you can tell me that will help me track down your missing friends? Will no one listen to sense? Start with the Muellers, and I'll eat my head if it doesn't end there too. Don't mind him. He's set in his ways. We have every reason to believe the abductions take place in your part of the island. Yes, nowhere near the danger zone or the elders. Well, it doesn't make much sense. But I suppose nothing does around this place. My catalog starts beeping. Oh, my alarm! I have to get to work. You run along now. We don't want you arousing suspicion with your people. You can meet with us later. I'll make sure those reports are in your tent before this evening. Thanks, Kara. You're 1 in a million. I imagine the odds are far greater than that given your new health status. Go! And thanks from all of us. Well, That started interesting. Lee. After a rather painful journey, I'm very grateful to finally limp into camp. I have just enough time to get myself tidied up for work. And I am about to peel off my filthy pajamas when I hear my catalog beeping. I have a message, but I can't tell who it's from. It's not from any of the contacts that Professor Pauper programmed into it. In fact, there is no contact information at all. Are you sure it is wise to trust everyone? Anyone? What on earth does that mean? There's a lot you don't know. Think carefully about who you confide in. What the fudge? Before I can think of a reply, the messages are gone and my catalog has no record of them. I don't have any time to think about this right now. I need to get ready. As soon as I'm presentable, I head over to the lab. I'm 10 minutes late. It doesn't give a good impression on my first morning.